joined the world of Shanti when the Queen and her advisors are having a very heated debate on the desperate need for a new draft to face the forces that are challenging the Empire in the north. Armies of orcs and lizard folk are banding together to lay siege to a rather important city. However, the scope of our adventure starts out a lot smaller. We joined 4 not so intrepid heroes stuck on a life raft floating in the large inland sea, having recently been attacked by Sahaugin. They've just finished their last meal and have recently run out of rations.
Oh, this is bloody awful. By Anseath, why can't we have magical beer seas instead of magical freshwater seas?
I totally agree with that.
Somehow I feel like everyone in the entire world being drunk is a bad idea.
Well, I think that shows a lack of imagination and understanding myself.
I'm not sure.
But be that as it may, we ought to really think of a way out of this, because none of you look that delicious yet. Can any of you see any land?
Let me take a look, and I'll twist my head in either direction, straining my eyes, seeing if I can see anything on the horizon.
Do we know roughly whereabouts we are, Chris?
Yeah, you know you're a couple of 100 miles south of the island of Nota. And craning your head around, Ishmael sees maybe 500 to 600 meters away from where you are now, a small little island bobbing up and down. And as you crane your neck around, an unusual airy voice comes out of the water. She pops up not too far away from your vessel. On a desperate plea, she cries to you, "Please, please help. The Katoa have taken my child. They're going to sacrifice her."
Said that.
I think it was her over there in water. Like, you see her?
Yes.
She's real,
It was
isn't
me.
she? Yeah.
As real as your beard, dwarven man.
Well,
Chris, are we on the right map?
Yep.
Now we are.
Ah.
Sweet.
Well, you know, forgive me for asking, but who or what is a Katoa?
You would call them fish people. If we come quick and you can get to the top of the rock before they get to do whatever it is they plan with that giant pot, we might be able to get her back.
So the fish people are on land.
So they have legs, you see, which is why I can't chase them.
Is there a way that you can get our boats to land quickly? Obviously, we don't have. Do we have oars?
No, you don't. I'll give you access to the statistics in a moment. I can bring you to the beach, but you may have to fight some of them off fairly quickly, or at least drive them away. As she comes closer, you can see her face is kind of horribly disfigured by quite a heavy scar from. It looks like a trident has been kind of thrust in there and left pockmarks on her, kind of running from her top left temple down to where her nose should be, and then on the side of her cheek on the bottom right of her face. She reaches out one webbed hand up onto the bow of your boat, and underneath it, you can feel the little boat, that you're in, rocking back and forth as she swishes her tail, pulling you further in up against the coastline.
Much obliged. Mistress Fish Lady. Sorry, Evelina. You seem to be somewhat injured there. Do you require assistance?
It is an old wound that is never quite healed. For the moment, if you can deal with my problem on the island, I would be most grateful. I grant you anything I can. She kind of swim under and behind, that she's now pushing your boat into the shallows. It gets you kind of as far as she can go, and she can go no further.
All right. As we're sort of on the boat, Borum's going to turn to the others. He's just going to... So, what have we got? How are we going to fight these things?
So, looking through the equipment that's on the boat with you, you have a couple of empty ration packs. You have a anchor with about 25 feet of rope attached to it. You have the other 50 feet that was left from where you were connected to the vessel that had been dragging you along previously. And you have half a damaged oar.
Well, who's our best fighter?
You know, maybe I don't think
A
I can.
fight, but I don't think that'd be me.
Always
What about
fighting.
you?
If I had a moment with that anchor, I could use it, but
I'll cast my eye over the shore and see if there's anything that looks imminently hostile.
Yeah. Kind of ranging between about 60 and 50 feet away from where you stand at the moment are their hands up in front of their faces, squinting against the sunlight. There's three kind of ranging between 2 feet and 4 feet tall, hunched creatures with large, cod-like gaping mouths and bulging eyes. They're each carrying a spear and look to be baking under the noonday sun.
is there
Well,
is there any way we could sneak up to them? Like, if I was to kind of fall in this water, would it make a loud noise?
Stealthily approaching a flat beach from the water is going to be difficult.
That's what I was thinking.
But we're coming from the direction of the sun, right? So they got a bit of glare.
Yeah. You've got the sun to your back, so they've got a bit of glare. And it
Well,
looks like they're quite
water I'm worried about.
comfortable being out in the light.
Yeah. I don't think we'll have much of a chance of surprise, but we might be able to use the sun to our advantage. Doesn't look like they're too keen on being out in there.
Well, I can do a fair bit of damage, you know, without a weapon. So if you, Rashida, if you wanted to take the half an oar, you could maybe twat someone round the head with it.
Probably.
How, Chris, how heavy is the anchor, would you say? Would it have to be used with two hands?
No, it's small enough that you could use it as either a one-handed or two-handed weapon.
Can
It's
I-
about
Can I rest my hand on it and use my hex warrior ability to
how long
use
does
it?
it take you to, how long does it take you to cast?
It doesn't. It says after a long rest, but obviously we never really got the chance.
I will say yes. I'll say you've been on here long enough that you've had a chance to do that.
Oh, fantastic!
You know, you've been on here long enough to run out of your ration, so that's been a couple of days.
Been doing nothing but resting.
Ordinarily, he wouldn't even be able to lift up the anchor because he's not very strong. But he kind of rests his hand on it And I don't think anything outward happens. It doesn't particularly say anything outwardly happens to the weapon, but then he picks it up. So what was an anchor? Just like a simple weapon?
Simple weapon. Yeah.
Simple weapon.
Effectively, it's a club.
Club. I'll just put club and then change it to anchor.
One Kuto, one standing on top of the rocks.
Yes. So, 1 and 2. Sorry, 1 is on his rocks. 2 is a bit further back, and 3 is on a lip all the way back.
Yeah.
Kind of on the crest of a hill, looking down upon you.
Okay.
All right.
Attempt the clothesline one with the rope, but I feel like to get to the one that'd be the easiest to do that to would be long run up, and don't know if we get the attack we intend.
I think we outnumber them. We're all bigger than them. I think we can take them.
All right, I'm ready to put fish on the menu.
All right. Hold up, just one moment. Let me see what I can do to help you out. Who's gonna be up front?
So,
Probably you, Rashida.
While you're talking, that last little shove has had you jump gently into the shallows. Your boat has come to rest in about kind of 18 inches of water, so it won't impede your movement when you hop out from here. You'll be able to move forward. Go ahead and roll initiative for me.
A question about the broken oar. Would you say it has a sharp point or sharp bit?
Improvised weapon count as a club. It does have a kind of sharp bit on it, but it would be more a bashing weapon than a stabbing weapon.
Yeah, so I can't stab someone with it. Okay. Also,
It wouldn't count as a finesse weapon.
So as the boat draws in, you see Borum sort of clenches his fists and draws them into himself, and his sort of skin just sort of hardens and then turns a sort of dull grey colour as his fists just basically turn to solid iron. And he says, "All right then, this has got me through a few bar fights. I'm sure it'll get me through this."
That's a trick that I could stand to use.
Well, maybe I can teach you it.
Ogrim, it would come to your turn.
But I will. So they haven't noticed us yet, right? The Kuatoa?
No, they haven't noticed you yet.
Okay, I'm gonna jump
Right.
in
All good.
the
with
water
me.
What do people say?
as gently as possible. Should I go half speed? Because I'm trying to sneak.
Yes. If you're trying to sneak, I will need a stealth check from you, please. No, you're fine. You can move your full 30 without being seen. So describe for me what people would see as you're moving across the beach. What do you look like?
So he's a dark-haired man. He's got kind of sunken eyes. He's about 5'9", so he's not short. He's not tall. He has horribly ragged clothes, like everybody else, I'm guessing, and he has a long, kind of jagged scar down his face, not like from a blade, almost like from like a spell wound. Like a necrotic spell wound. He's got a necrotic spell wound on his face. And his right hand is burned. Scarred as well. Burn scars. So he's quite an ugly looking man. Quite a dangerous looking man. But he tends to smile. He's not an arsehole about it.
Okay. So he's made his way up, and you're kind of stood behind the. This one's about two and a half feet tall, hunched heavily at the shoulders. It would be a lot taller if they stood upright, but his face would also face the sky. Were he to stand upright, he doesn't quite have any shoulders. A short arm. He's got a short spear in one hand and a net in the other. He's facing away from you. What do you want to do? You have an action, bonus action.
We're going to bonus action breathe a curse on him, a hex.
Okay.
Sorry, I did that wrong. I should cast the spell first. It's doing it as an attack. Sorry.
Just go ahead and roll the dice.
Yeah.
You can do it from the dice roller. D20 plus charisma mod, I believe, since you're a warlock.
It's not an attack. It's just you just bonus action hex somebody.
Okay. Oh, and then I have so what stat do you want reduced for the hex then?
Could I have? Hang on, let me just have a quick look at the spell, because I thought it would actually put the spell on there rather than just an attack.
I will show you.
Yeah.
How to change the
Choose one ability. I will pick Constitution.
Okay, not a problem. So his con is down.
And I will crack him over the head with my anchor.
Right, roll your attack. 10 hits, 7 points of bludgeoning come in, and there's a wet kind of squelch, and there's a yap comes out of the creature that sort of draws some attention from his allies as he's going after what you've just done. Doesn't look like a fatal wound, but it's very much fair to say that he is bloodied at this point.
The extra 2 damage from the original hex kill him.
Yep.
Sweet.
It's not enough to kill him, but it is enough to quite badly hurt him. His compatriot is going to start stepping forward and move all the way up to where you are now, having made enough noise to be spotted by his ally. But he uses all of his energy running up to engage you before it comes to Borum. What do people see as Borum is leaving the boat?
So he's gonna sort of take a sort of step up onto the rim and then leap off onto the beach, sort of bellowing a little, not excessively, just a little, like a sort of, and that's about 10 feet. So then he can charge into combat. So he's gonna run in and just sort of big overhand, like right punch with his fists of iron in. That looks like this.
I need a d20 first. You've just rolled damage.
Oh, sorry. I thought that would roll a d20. My bad. So that would be a strength, right? Yep.
D20 plus strength.
It's a 9.
No, 9 is too low. As you come through, you swing out, and the light gleams off your fist, but the fish kind of just pulls its body out of the way with a wet-sounding kind of squelch as the slime that coats his body splashes back and hits you in the face.
Fair enough.
D1.
Can I make an attack with my other fist, or is that not allowed? Use my bonus
yes,
action.
you can attack as a bonus action to do that.
Cool. Then I will. That's another 9.
It's another 9, I'm afraid. No.
Yep.
So again, he's able
flailing
to
wildly.
And as you flail wildly with your kind of metal fists, the one that's up on the hill blows onto a large conch, and you hear this noise that will ring out over quite a large area, and he's going to kind of come down, dropping the conch where he was, and that brings the action to our ally Ishmael.
Okay. Are there any ropes attached to the boat itself, or are they just coiled inside?
There's one that is tied off the front that had been dangling down into the water, and there's the other 25 feet length of rope that's coiled around near your feet.
Okay, I'm gonna pick up the coil, just kind of drape it across my shoulders. I'm hopping out. To describe who I am, what I look like. I'm a human, about 36 years old. A man of the sea. I've spent a lot of time on the boat, and I'm quite comfortable in the water. Mostly sunburnt all over. Gonna grab a hold of the rope that's dangling in the boat because I don't want to lose the only thing that we may need to escape on or travel further with, and start pulling it into the shallows so that it gets beached. So how far can I get doing that?
You're fairly certain if you drag the boat another kind of 10 feet or so that it will be beached and not brought out by the tide. There's also a couple of rocks that you could lash it onto. That this one in particular would be large enough that you'd be able to, tie something to it, and your boat's not going to go anywhere.
Okay, I'm gonna do that instead. That way we don't have to cast off.
Perfect. So that would take you. That would take your action.
Yeah, I'm gonna spend my action making sure that we don't lose the boat.
Okay. Then it comes to Our Lady Rashinda. What are you going to do with your turn?
Alright. First of all, pick up that broken oar, and I cannot get there, but I can get there. And then just leap off of the top of the boat, just like put the foot up on the very front tip of it, and just leap off and rush towards. She's human, got just red, thick hair and like this tied, very dirty piece of black cloth that's kind of holding it in place and keeping it from flying into her face. Although at this point, I believe that everything would be dirty and messy enough to not stop that anymore. Very rugged, basic clothes, and just a big oar in her hand is broken. And just gonna thwack him. So, you said it was akin to a club, yeah?
Yeah.
Right. So that'd be D20 plus strength.
D20 plus strength, yes.
Yeah, that's a yikes. Okay. Let's go.
So that hits. Come down.
Right.
Kind of crashes into the head of the creature, and there's a little bit of a pop, and some awful slippery stuff covers your already dirtied face. And does a not insubstantial amount of damage to the creature, but he's certainly not as bad off as his compatriot. That brings us back to Ogrim.
The same fella?
Yep, the one on top of the rocks that you were already
Yes.
with.
And this time I'll use my green flame blade, which is a cantrip. Hang on, I need to do partial. I need to do partial.
21 hits, dealing 10 points of damage.
The-
Almost.
The 7 points of damage is done to him. The 3 points of damage is fire damage, and it like jumps to the guy who's next to him. And I can show you that if I turn this on. There we go.
And they are weak to perfect.
There's also the
Jumps.
It's also the extra hex damage, which is 2 necrotic to the original.
Good good man. And then that hex uses your bonus action as well, I believe. Is that right?
It's automatic once it's cast. I cast it as a bonus action.
Okay, so then by my reckoning, you still have movement and a bonus action if you want to use them.
I do. But I'll stay in place. Stay where I am.
Okay, and that comes. Katoa, who's just joined the fight, is now kind of patting out some of the flame that's on his side to push out that little bit. He's going to try cast his net out onto Ogrim, seeing as how Ogrim has just spit fire on him and his compatriots. But looking into the sunlight, his aim isn't the best. Does, however, manage to get it around you, and you are restrained in a net that he's cast from left to right, wrapping Ogrim around in it. But that does end his turn. His companion, on the other hand, is going to break and attempt to run away. You can get about so far. Barum, that comes back to yourself.
Do I get a reaction on that guy?
No, because you are restrained.
Oh, sorry.
Normally you would. You're right, but because you're wrapped up in a net, you don't get.
Right, no worries.
So Barum, it will be your go.
Yeah. Barum is going to sort of go, like, looking a little annoyed at his sort of swinging punches didn't connect. He's going to sort of take stock of the situation, you know, and sort of sidle round this Kurotoa, and then you hear him sort of chuckle and just go, "Last time at the bar," and he's going to cast Toll of the Dead. You hear this sort of the ringing of the, you know, last orders. There's a ghostly voice, you know, on the wind. And he kind of cast it on this Kurotoa 1 that's running away.
Okay.
Oh, yeah, sorry.
We'll get there. Technical issues, all that. One action.
No.
I need a wisdom save.
Yeah, you need a wisdom
go ahead
save.
and roll a d12 for me, please.
Yeah. It's DC 13, by the way.
Ooh, I definitely fail.
Cool. 7 damage for you then.
That's enough. That kills him outright.
So,
And Barum, you still have your bonus action.
can I can't use that to swing with my offhand if I didn't make a standard attack, as I understand it.
Do you have any cantrips or a bonus action?
Not that are really applicable in this circumstance.
So that, and your turn then. Okay, the third one. Yeah, he's gonna kind of run around and see what's going on and run back the other way. And then he's gonna flee back up the hill. Ishmael, that would be yourself.
Okay. I'm going to when I come up to this Kurotoa, unsling that I have through my shoulders and just whack it in the face. With that. Oh,
Okay, go ahead. Roll your attack.
roll for that. Because it'd be an improvised weapon, right?
So it would be d20 plus your strength mod, and then your damage is a d4 plus your strength mod.
Okay.
Unless you happen to have the Baron Brawler feat, which I don't think anyone does, so we're good.
Dude. Yeah, I took the Tavern Brawler, but I'm not technically using unarmed, I'm using a weapon.
In that case, you get to add your proficiency bonus.
Well,
So it would be d20 plus strength plus proficiency.
okay.
At level 1, that's 2 plus a d20 plus whatever your strength mod is.
My strength is 0 for right now.
So in that case, it's a d20 plus 2, and then your damage is d4 plus 2.
It's only a 9 anyway.
No, you swing wildly, and the item you're carrying in your hand kind of cracks off the stone of the beach, but doesn't deal any damage to the Katoa itself. But it does leave an opening for Rashinda to step in and do something.
Whack.
Okay, so you're gonna whack it. Go ahead and whack it.
Yeah, just whack him. So minus
Gotta
1,
thwack
that's
with
6.
advantage,
That's a
don't
5.
forget. No, you're thwacking with
You're
advantage.
You're thwacking with advantage because you and Baram are flanking him, and the
Right.
Katoa has kind of just
13.
jumped back out of the way, and it's moved into your thwacking. So go ahead and roll the 1d4 plus your strength mod for damage, please.
Alright. 1.
No, 2. Right, and then Ogrum. Rashinda having just kind of twacked it with the oar.
Wait. Can I not use my
and
bonus
it-
action to punch him?
You can bonus action, so
Thank
it's
you.
1d4 plus strength.
Yeah, that's damage. I gotta roll for it first, don't I?
Yeah.
Yeah, so
Yeah, you do.
does 12 hits.
12 hits.
Right.
And 2. Yep. So that cracks, and he kind of pushes him back on his guard. It looks like the area that would be his nose, where he'd have a nose, is now broken. Blood dripping out of one of his nostrils and a little coming out of the gill on the side of his head. Ogrum, what do you want to do?
I'll quickly bonus action put the hex, remove the hex from the dead body and put it on this fella.
What particular stat do you want to lower?
I'll do, I guess Constitution again, safe bet.
Okay, lower. Perfect.
And I will kind of press my burned hand up to his face and just do a point blank Eldritch Blast, which misses.
So you raise up, but just at the last moment, as that surge leaves your hand, he kind of feigns backwards, rearing up a bit straighter, and you hear this awful crack as his neck comes up, and your blast kind of pushes sand up out of the wall on the other side. The Koatoa that is among you, he's going to drop his spear. He's going to attempt to kind of back away from all of you. It does give you the chance to have an opportunity attack, but it also looks like he's kind of trying to surrender.
I'm gonna just try to pop him right in the face.
Okay,
Yeah,
what's
so-
that? So he misses the blow, the thing, but the unarmed strike does get through. Resmir and Baram, do you want to take your opportunity attacks?
I will, but I'm going to use command as my opportunity attack.
Because you've got Warcaster, yeah?
Yep. So I'm just as it tries to escape, Baram's just going to turn and just sort of point at it with his hand and just kneel. It only works if he
It's a wisdom
understands
save,
me.
isn't it?
Yeah, it's a wisdom save, a DC 13, but it only works if the creature understands common in this instance.
He does not understand.
Oh, then yeah, it does not work.
Okay. And
I cast
Rashinda,
it anyway.
what are you going to do?
Yes. You said opportunity attack, yeah?
Yeah.
Yeah, so again, thwack him with the oar. Nat
Wow,
20.
critic.
Great. So 2d4 plus your strength mod.
My strength
So
mod is
as
a
he's
minus
kinda
1, by the
trying to-
way.
As he's trying to back away, your thwack comes down and on top of him. You hear Barham's spell echo out. But your arm is already moving and it comes down in a wide arch, bringing the end of the oar down upon its skull, and there's a dull sort of noise as it kind of sinks in through the cartilaginous skull of the creature, and it stops onto the ground, twitching a little but no longer moving in any serious manner. Barham, that will be your turn.
All right. So Barham's just sort of look, with a little bit of like fishy brain matter, like now splashed up on him. He says, "Ugh." And he's going to turn around and look after the one that sort of fled up the hill. How far away did he get? Is he as far away as he is?
Yeah,
On the map.
he's as far away as he is on the map.
And does he look like he's running for it as well, or
Yes.
does he look like he? Does he
he
have
looks
that
to
sort
be
of look? Running for his life or running to get help?
It might be a little bit of both. As you've gotten onto the land now and you look into the direction that he's going, it looks like he's heading to this large set of spiraling rocks that lead to a point from which you can see this black smoke rising from the top of the rock spiral.
Ah, bollocks! We can't let him go and get reinforcements. We'll never stand a chance. And you see him sort of draw his arm back to his shoulder, and his eyes sort of glow a sort of golden, bubbling yellow for a second, and then he sort of casts, pushes his hand forward, and it's sort of, well, it's weird. It's sort of, you can't quite tell if it's like a liquid or a solid. It sort of bubbles, but it's also kind of moving very quickly. But it flashes out towards him as he casts Guiding Bolt on the creature that's running away.
Okay, roll to hit.
Hopefully that's done it. Yeah. 19.
19 and
16 radiant damage.
16 radiant. Yeah, no, that's enough. Almost with one shot, the creature is downed and beaten, and that leaves 3. Now defeated enemies with yourselves on the beach.
What were they armed with?
Spears and nets.
The spear of the one that I punched in the face.
You
There's-
know,
The 3 of them have spears. 1 of them was carrying the large conch, and 2 of them were carrying nets. So the one that is at your feet is carrying a net. Ogrim is wrapped in a net. Both of those have spears. The third one, who was hit with your Guiding Bolt, was carrying that large kind of seahorn conch and a spear.
I don't want to interrupt our celebrating. That's very well deserved, but one of them, I think, blew a horn or something, so we might have visitors if we stick around.
Aye.
Find the Merfolk's child, isn't it? I'm gonna, if we have free movement, I'm gonna wade back into the water a little bit and just look for Evelina.
I'm gonna get back that ore.
She does. It takes a moment or two, but she does reemerge in as shallow waters as she can get. And she looks up at you from her kind of scarred face. She goes, "Please, just they took her up the hill."
How many more of these fishy folk can we expect to find up there?
Maybe 6.
6. Anything else we should know about?
They don't like sunlight. If you attack now while there's still daylight, you'll have an advantage.
I'm gonna kind of look vaguely in the direction of the sun, but not directly at it, obviously, so I can try to determine what time of day it is.
You have about 4 or 5 hours before sunlight. by the time 7 o'clock in the evening comes, the sun will have set. But right now, because it's about 3 o'clock in the afternoon, you still have plenty of time.
Alright. If we can't finish this in under 4 hours, then I believe it'd be a lost cause anyway. We'll do our best. And
Thank you.
wade back out. I'll kind of cast a hand, waving. I got it as I'm walking back up. Did I collect the spear, or was there not one?
There's
'Cause
three, there's three
Alright.
spears.
I am going to make sure I have that spear then.
Peter, why don't you arm yourself with something more potent?
Well, if we take a spear each, it's better than nothing. Are you happy with that anchor? You look quite pleased with it.
I can manage with the anchor.
You know, quite frankly, I'm gonna keep this oar as well. I quite like her. I think I'm gonna name her something. Dora. That works.
Wouldn't you be happy with a dagger?
I could. But maybe I can tie the dagger to the oar. I'm quite attached, you know?
Alright, well, we ain't got time to sit around and sing songs about the broken oar. We gotta figure out where this kid is and rescue it before. I believe she said it was being put in a pot, and usually things put in pots are eaten, so.
Well, from the looks of it, the only civilization round here is up in that big spire-looking thing with the black smoke. So, I mean, if we still have the element of surprise, I suggest we take it while we can.
The element of surprise if they blew that conch, but they don't know that they're dead down here, so.
Precious is gonna like thwack the oar into her hand, make like the noise. It's like, let's go fuck some up.
Aye, let's go.
I have an idea
With-
I'd like to try. Is the conch still there, Chris?
Yes, it is.
Can I blow it twice?
Yeah, of course. So you put it up to your lips and give me a performance check.
Performance.
So your first blow on that conch is a bit of a. It's not nearly as impressive as the previous creature's attempt was. And your second one.
Sorry. Roll again.
No, again, it kind of feels at this point like whatever way they're using the instrument is a little bit beyond your ability to do.
Brave effort, though. Brave effort.
Sound like a walrus in heat.
I assumed if we could send a different signal to say it was safe, then maybe they would come down here.
Yeah, no, I think I got what you were trying to do, but yeah, you probably have to be a fish to blow these things, right?
I think it would help.
Nah.
Should we do this the old-fashioned way?
I suppose that's our only option at this point.
Aye.
I mean, we could try something a little unorthodox, maybe set fire to the structure or something. Oh, it looks like it's made of stone. That's probably not going to work.
Well, we still gotta get in there and rescue whatever's trapped inside. I think setting on fire would be kind of a hindrance.
Oh, yeah, no, good point. All right then. So having a quick scan around, there, I assume there's a fairly obvious trail that leads between here and the spire that we're gonna follow.
Yeah, so it's a bit hard to miss it. Kind of 500 to 600 yards away from where you are currently stood on the beach, there's a little set of ruins that seem to lead to the bottom of a path that's been carved up the side of a large spiral of rock. And as you come up, there's a small ruin of a stone building for you to hide behind without being seen, where you can get a better view of what's going on the map. Just so you're aware, you're on the far left corner of this particular map. Take over if you used to be in the new one. Just a moment.
Ah, yes, I see.
So you managed to get up, and you sort of huddle down behind this tight little kind of 5 feet high stone walls that are still stood up against the battering wind, and not too far from where you are at the moment, you can see between an overhang in the rock, a trap wire has been sprung, and two more of the Katoas are stood on top of a small little mound looking down. Yes. They can't see you.
With the sun being in their eyes either.
Yeah. So the sun is still coming from basically northwest of where you are now. So they would have the same problems that their allies did, being able to see in the direct sunlight.
Okay, so, fellows, from the looks of it, if we can overwhelm these two, we can get further in without too much problem. I reckon if Rashida and Ishmael, you two, if you can sneak up as best you can, and once you engage them, me and Orgrimir can throw some, divine intervention from down here, and we should be able to overwhelm them in short order, as they say.
I plans with that. As good a plan as any.
Well, let's get to it.
I mean, it looks like there's a ladder out past that outcropping. We might be able to sneak up there if we can get past this trap. Would I be able to sneak up to here to take a better look at the tripwire?
Yeah, you can. You can get that far, but give me a stealth check, please.
Okay.
No, they don't see you. You come up to it. It looks like a fairly simple combination. The rope that you're on is under tension. If the tension on that rope is going to go too high, it's going to snap a pin, and that pin is going to release a set of rocks that are held up on top of the object, falling to your side. So they would fall from here to here.
Is there a way that it looks like I could release the tension without tripping the pin?
You would have to go to where the pin is.
And that's on the other side.
It's on the other side, yes. You could probably jam something in it if you can successfully get down here to stop it falling.
How high off the ground is the wire?
A foot?
A foot?
Foot.
I'm just gonna hoist up my pants a little bit, just showing off my sunburnt shins, and try to just tiptoe over the wire completely.
Yeah, I think you can do that. It's not magic. It's not miraculously difficult. You can kind of step over it without too much problem, ending up underneath the outcrop.
I'm gonna start moving after. Go taking the same path that you did.
The same thing. You just need a stealth check then.
Yeah.
Slightly past the outcrop so that she has a place to step.
Okay, you can get that far without
Yep.
there being any problem. You're gonna do the same thing. Climb over
Yep,
the wire
step over
without setting it up.
carefully.
It's perfectly within your ability to do that, so you can get across it.
Yep.
Alright.
Anybody else want to move?
I'll stay behind this kind of cover. Is this cover here?
It's cover. It's full cover.
Fantastic. Just keep my eyes on it.
Okay, and then Baron, what are you gonna do? Okay, Right. So the Katoa haven't noticed you yet. Ishmael, what would you like to do?
I'm gonna whisper to Rashida. Just say, I think perhaps we should, as quietly as possible, climb up this ladder, and you take one, I'll take the other. Just kind of bum rush them, stab them, smack them on the head, something.
Yeah,
Get the element of surprise.
DM, how high is this cliff?
It's about 25 feet. You would need to use the ladder.
Okay.
You don't have a climb speed.
Would it be possible to push one of them down, or would they be too large for that?
No, you could push them down. You'd need a grapple. You'd need a shove or a grapple check, but you could. And they are exceptionally slippy. You'd know this from your last encounter, but it could be done, and it would be high enough to deal damage if you could get them off the cliff.
Yeah. I'm gonna whisper back and just go, if possible, it will be quite in our favor, I think, if we were to push one of them down, only face one, while the other two take the other.
I like the idea, but I don't like the idea of leaving one to react. If you want to push one, I'll stab the other.
Sounds good to me.
Hey, if you can, push it into the rope.
See what I can do.
Because I'm sure we're about to make a lot of noise, so if we can just set off that trap and get a little bit of rush underneath it, then that's just one less couteau to deal with.
A head start.
I'm gonna head to the ladder and just slowly make my way up, testing each rung for creak. Kind of tuck myself
Give me
behind the
another
rock.
stealth check as you get there.
Yep. Ugh. I've
No.
used every creaky rung.
Yeah. So as you use every creaky rung climbing up the ladder, there's this kind of noise, and the two creatures turn. They stare at you. The first of them kind of is their open mouth, kind of going. But the other pulls out his large cock, and it's that same noise as before was heard. Roll initiative for me, please.
Here we go.
I am the unsneakiest rogue ever.
Hey, your stealth is really low for a rogue.
By the way,
You are the sneakiest rogue ever.
sorry, I realise I didn't overtly say it, which means it probably didn't happen, but
Right.
we didn't
First
grab the
things
spears from the
first,
beach, did we?
having heard this really loud creak, yeah, he spent his action blowing his thing, and he's gonna run backwards towards his ally, drawing a spear. And that ends his turn. Rashinda, that would be up to you.
Alright. Let's see here. Well, I guess I can run up there. I'm gonna do that. And I'm gonna... I guess I can't do much else unless I wanna use dash as... Actually, no, that works. I'm gonna use dash to rush up here, and I'm gonna punch him. Hopefully with enough
Do you
blow to
get-
knock him.
You didn't.
No, I'm using
You
dash
don't
as
have
my
that
action,
reaction yet,
and then punch as bonus
but you
action.
have an attack, so you can't attack as a bonus action.
Oh, damn it. That was useless.
Wait, does she not have the use dash as a bonus action thing yet?
So you run up, you get into
Oh,
face-to-face contact. Burham.
Well, seeing that the gig is up, so to speak, he's gonna curse in Dwarvish under his breath and like, I don't know how Dwarvish actually sounds, but you know, I assume it's kind of just like a throatier version of Klingon. So that's what
Something like that, yeah. A
that.
throatier version of Klingon.
I like the creativity.
Yeah. and he's gonna step from behind this little bit of ruin, and he is going to extend his hand and cast. Well, I mean, with the eyes glowing thing. He likes a bit of eyes glowing, but if anyone was taking a moment in this violent exchange to stare deeply into his eyes, they would notice that it's kind of like looking into a fresh pint. Those little bubbles, that gold and distorted glow. Yeah, that is what's happening in his eyes, and sort of extends his hand and mutters some more words in Dwarvish, and a sort of like a shower of fire erupts over this Kuatoa 1, the one that's engaged with Rashida now, and descends upon him as he casts Secret Flame.
So you need a dexterity check from me.
Yeah. Dex 13, and
bright sunlight that pops off your flame. You can hear the creature start to trash around in an effort to get out of the bright, sooty lights.
And that's 7 damage if it fails.
It does fail, and it takes the hit, and it's now kind of trashing wildly, spraying that slippery, slightly translucent, slightly green slime all over Racinda as it does so.
Oh, you're welcome.
More
Vorum's also
disgusting.
gonna move up around the ruin up to this side. And
Okay, Ishmael.
The stupid ladder. Grip the spear in both hands, run up to Kuatoa number 2, and just fish kebab him.
Okay, roll your attack.
It's 18 and 8.
Much better. So you've come in, you got through his kind of defense as he was reaching down to get the spear. You come up, stick him in the belly, and the blue blood kind of spurts out. There's a coppery smell fills the air. You still
I'm just gonna drive it in, kind of like trying to get the tip of the spear to touch the stone, and then just yank it out.
okay. Roll to attack. So it comes out. There's no problem with it coming out. You end up with it back in your hand. Ogren, that would be your go.
I'm going to kind of run this way, run past Barham, 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30, and as I'm running past, I'm going to blast this guy with a...
So, as you're running, also make me a dex check
Yes, with the trap.
for the trap.
Acrobatics or...
Acrobatics is fine.
Son of a bitch.
Right, so as you're going, you do get to attack, but you also take 2 points of bludgeoning damage from the small,
Oof.
sort of 1 pound size, couple of rocks fall down, but only one of them gets you, and you take 2 points of bludgeoning damage.
can I just
that
take this
goes
point to
in-
interject and say, can people turn Whisper off on their rolls? Because I want to see what's going on.
Yeah, I don't know how.
It'll be on the
Add
character
your
sheet.
Yeah.
Edit is at 11.
We can
1
do
hour
it
11
later.
minutes. No, I can walk you through it. So open your character sheet. Go to the cog.
Always never whisper rolls. Right, I've done it. There we go.
Auto roll damage and crit, never whisper rolls, and advantage query, and then it will ask you every turn, do you need advantage or not? Is it advantage, no advantage, or disadvantage?
Yep.
And then you do a roll, it's going to tell you. It stops you rolling advantage when you shouldn't.
Yeah, so I got 6 there. That's from that. And I'll do my Eldritch Blast, which is absolutely horrific. What is going on?
Zappo.
not Zappo.
So
The
you step
exact
out,
opposite of Zappo.
and your blast comes out, and there's this kind of purpley darkness wisps through the air, and it wraps around your target, passes without doing any damage.
That is the end of my go.
So, off from a little bit to your west, kind of down in this direction, you hear another loud conch going off, and you can hear the start of patter running on stone. Into your view, you hear the sound dashing all the way cut through. Comes this hairless dog-like creature with large serrated teeth and webbed front and back paws with a paddled tail. Comes running around the corner. It's kind of dashing full pelt at you. The creature that you've cornered pulls his spear back, drawing it from behind him. Attack, both hands wrapped around it, dropping his spear. And it's a 10, which doesn't break your armor class, so Ishmael manages to just dodge out of its way. And the first dog in the meantime was joined by a second, who gets this far. Rashinda.
Alright. So I'm gonna grab both hands on the broken oar, like holding it in front of me, and then try and bash this guy's head in. And hopefully at the same time push him.
Okay, so you want to try shove. Okay, so I need an athletics check, please. So as Rashinda pushes down against the creature, it kind of puts its hands up to try block the blow, but it's just not quite enough for it to be able to do it. And Rashinda does manage to push it back a few feet onto the edge of that cliff. It goes down. The bludgeoning damage is enough when it reaches the bottom. There's a thud, thwack, as the creature hits the kind of stones below, and it almost certainly kills outright. Barum, that comes back to you.
Ah, right. Sorry, I almost forgot that was my name. So Barum is gonna sort of take a couple of steps forward, so he can see these strange dog-like creatures, and he is going to once more extend his hand and cast Sacred Flame on the one that is closest, Wolfling 2.
Okay, you need a check from me for that, don't you?
Yeah, doing it.
Yeah, dex check.
Dex check.
So yeah, he's running through, and as he's getting there, it doesn't manage to do any damage to it. Kind of quickly scarpers out of the way. Just getting past the patch where your flames have popped up out of the ground. You do still have your bonus action and a little bit of movement.
Yeah, seeing that didn't work, he's going to sort of take a couple of steps back, and end my turn.
Okay, Ishmael.
Okay.
You think another good blow, but probably two, would kill the creature that you have in front of you?
Okay. These are like reverse mermaids, right? They're fish to waist and then kind of legs.
Yeah. Yeah.
So do they
Reverse
have?
mermaid is a good way to describe them.
All right. So do they have like gills on the side of their heads?
Yes, they do.
In that case, it worked well on the beach, so I'm going to just release the spear with one hand, just holding onto it, and pop this right in the face with an unarmed strike.
Okay, so no, it's too low. He moves out of the way, ducking and weaving first blow. But because you've made an attack, you can make a Second attack is a bonus action.
Yeah, that's
So
what
you
I was going to
add
do.
it to
I don't have to hit to be able to use the bonus, the grapple, right?
you just have to attack.
Okay, so for my bonus action, I'm going to, with the same hand that I just missed from, pull back and just ram my fingers into the gill and just try to hold it in place. That's if you're like holding a fish after fishing it out.
Okay, so that would be a grapple check, and because he's so slippy and slimy, it's hard to hold on to him. But go ahead and give me an athletics check, please.
Oh my god.
No,
I
it's
just-
too low. Yeah. He slips out of the way without you being able to hold on to him.
This giant fish man, giant gills, and I'm just like, plop, 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 plop.
Slimy.
Ogrim, that would be your go.
Orgrim's going to see the Warflings coming, running towards him, sprinting. He's going to curse softly and back away. Back towards Barum. I've set off the trap by now,
Yeah,
right?
it's not going to go again. It's not going to go
Sound.
again.
And I'm also going to use Eldritch Blast on the nearest. Nearest Wolfling. 14,
Oh,
thank
14 hit. Yeah, no. So basically, with a single blow, there's a yap and a kind of slight bleating as the dog crumbles and slides to a halt, crashing into the bottom of the ladder. Sorry, I'm sputtering. There's a yap, and the dog stops as it slides, crashing into the bottom of the ladder, spinning and kicking up dirt as it does so. His handler starts to move around. He comes up as far as he can get, and he throws his spear at Barum, wide and heavy, and it arches through the air, sticking into the dirt at your feet. The one dog that was still going, runs all the way, getting to the base of your feet, snarling up at you, but unable to do anything. The one stood directly in front of Ishmael, kind of having just slipped out of the way, being hunched down, pulls his spear up, trying to thrust it into Ishmael's bowels. But with the sun in his eyes, it's not able to do so, and it kind of fills the empty space between Ishmael and Rashinda, and bringing it back to Rashinda's turn.
Gonna move up to this little bugger. I'm gonna try and holding the hand like in the middle of this broken oar. I'm gonna try and shove it into his gills.
Right, roll to attack.
Yeah.
14 hits, roll your damage.
Yep.
So it comes and it sticks in, holds his head back, and it pulls on the oar in your hand, but you're able to hold on to it without too much trouble. And there's now blood splurting everywhere. He's backed into the corner, he's pulling that spear up in front of him.
And now I can punch him.
Barum, what do you want to do? Yeah, now you can punch him.
Yeah, so punch him in the eye, please. Please roll. No, I don't.
No, you miss. You miss.
Okay, so given that this thing's jumping up in my face, I'm probably gonna grapple it.
All right, go ahead. Grapple check. So athletics.
19.
No, you've got hold of him.
Cool. I'm just gonna like wrestle it to the floor and shout at Orgrim like, "Finish this bastard off!"
Okay, that would end your turn, unless you want to try move him. But holding him down.
Nope, just holding him down.
So Ishmael hears Ogrim crying out about killing a bastard, but what's Ishmael gonna do?
I don't think I can really see what's happening down there. So I'm just gonna
I don't think you can.
shout. Yeah, I'm just gonna shout over my shoulder like, "You having fun down there?" and I'm just gonna try to punch this thing in the face again. And that's 13.
13 hits, 4, perfect. That's enough. So with that one final blow, it's enough to kind of, it moves, its head bounces off the rock opposite where your fist struck it, and between the force of your blow and it hitting the rock, it's a bit hard to tell which was the final hit, but he's trashing around and he slumps down, stops, and is silent.
Turn to Rashida and be like that takes care of that. Should we go up or down?
I think down. Let's not abandon them.
All right, and I'm going to use my movement to run back to the ladder and just slide down to the bottom of it.
Okay, that gets you to the bottom of the ladder. Then it would be Ogrim.
Yeah, I'm going to take one step back just to clear the landing.
Not a problem.
I'll
Ogrim, that would be your go.
I'll kind of shimmy around so I'm facing the back of this thing that Barham's kind of got in his hands. Can I get advantage on melee attack?
Yes. It's flanking. It's restrained. You get advantage.
I'll think go for that. 6 damage.
That's enough. That kind of come in. You swing overhead with your anchor. It comes down. It pierces the back of the creature's spine, and there's a jerk, and it stops with a slight whimper. Finally killing the Warfling in one foul blow.
Good job, Ogrim.
I'll wink at Barham and run this way towards Ishmael and the Kuwatoa.
Kind of going as far as he can. One moves back, seeming to be joining his compatriots. Yeah. But 3 more. A little bit of distance towards you, heading this way. Warfling's dead. You're dead. Rashinda, that would be your go.
Alright, well. How high up is this cliff?
About 20 feet.
Okay. Yeah, I'm just gonna yell out to the others and be like, they're coming from above up here. Just trying to get their attention, and then
My eyes heavily.
move up to like here. Just kind of
Okay.
wait for them. Ready in action, so that if someone comes close, I'll thwack them.
Alright, as you come up to the top, you can hear this dark chant thing. In a not kind of unfamiliar voice that you would have heard from earlier on today, but you can't quite place it. It feels a little bit ethereal and otherworldly. Barham, what do you want to do?
I smell unholy magics. He's gonna run up as far as he can up this way, and I assume I can see this Kuatoa who stood on the
Yes,
cliff
you
top.
can, you can.
And then he's going to reach up and fix something that's not broken. Call down more sacred beery flames from his lord Hanseath. That's the sound of him calling down holy flames.
The frothy fire starts to kind of bubble around him, and there's a faint hoppy smell fills the air as the Katoa is wrapped in the frothy goodness of your holy light, and it seems to take quite a substantial blow from the light, bringing it down to a stage where it's now quite severely injured. Ishmael, what do you want to do?
To while I'm rolling my eyes at now having to climb back up this ladder, climb back up the ladder, cursing each freak, but not really giving a damn anymore. And I'm going to use my action to dash up the other one, join Rashida. I'm just kind of pointing at that Kuatoa and like leveling my spear at it and beckoning it with my other hand.
Okay. And then Ogrum, that would be your go.
I'll do the same, kind of run up the ladder, and then blast this Kuatoa as I run past. Or try to, anyway. And we'll roll. Hey!
19
Damage
hits
shy
for
of
yeah.
time.
So you knock it down, and as it falls forward off the cliff, just to its north, down, taking more damage as it falls, and then more as it falls again, ending on the bottom as a rather now mushy fish. Barum, that would bring the action back to yourself.
Alright. So Barum's gonna run up and can I assume I can just move up the ladder as I would
Yes.
with my
Yes.
movement.
Yeah.
Alright.
We're pretty
Cool.
free and loose with the rules around here, so yeah, I'll give you, because it's a ladder, you can move up it without having to slow down.
Alright. I mean it covers 2 squares anyway, so it's used up movement. Anyway, yeah, that's as far as I can get. So yeah, I'm guessing from where I am, I
Well,
probably can't
You
get line
can't
of
see
sight.
them. You wouldn't have line of sight on them.
Yeah. So I'll just use my action to dash ahead up. Well, I'll not climb the ladder. I'll just move to the bottom of the second ladder and end my turn.
Okay, Ishmael.
I feel like I just win, is that right?
That's right.
Yeah.
That's right. There's
Okay.
there are fewer creatures now.
Yeah. No. In that case, I'm going to grip the spear with both hands and run right the one that I've been taunting and stab it just like I did the first time. And that's a 9.
Okay, so it blocks you with the spear and pushes you back a little bit, and you're not quite able to hit it. You do have a bonus action, so you can attack. You can attempt for an unarmed strike.
Can I do an unarmed strike, or does it have to be a grapple?
No, it doesn't have to be a grapple. It can be an unarmed strike.
In that case, yeah. If once he like smacks me away, I'm just going to loose one arm and punch it at 12
Dude.
for 1.
It's
I
it's it.
open palm slap it lightly across the face.
It's just enough to be insulting.
Bad goldfish.
So Ishmael ends his turn, and it comes to Ogrum, our second resident dwarven cleric.
I will go for the second ladder, kind of come up here, and I'll try and curve a Eldritch Blast around Ishmael.
I can just tell me to duck.
Duck.
I'm ducking.
So Eldritch Blast does hit. 10 points of force damage are enough that it kills the creature in almost one go. The extra little bit of damage was an insult, just enough that it meant that the rather more potent blast of energy coming from behind you was able to kill the creature.
Round. It's all gonna be like that. That seems like a good tactic. We should do that more often. I slap, you shoot.
Somewhere off in the distance, you hear a splash as something jumps into the water. And Rashinda, you get an opportunity to act.
I get a what?
The chanting is get the opportunity to act.
Okay. But also bloody far away. Oh, I can get there. Rush up, and I'm gonna try and shove this ore down the mouth of that fish, because I assume the mouth is pretty big.
Yes, it is. It's quite a ride way. So that hits, and then D4 plus strength, please. So enough, it goes through, and it's kind of caught in the fish's jaw. He's clamping down on it, and it's kind of going. As you put it back out, there's now like 2 long fish teeth have been added to your ore.
Oh, that's bloody awesome. Can I poke it in the eyes and unarmed attack?
You could try.
Cool. I'll take try.
No, it pulls out of the way before you're able to hit it as you try to poke it in the eye. Barum,
Wait.
that would be your go.
Okay, so Barum's gonna climb up the ladder. I assume I can just sort of shove past Orgrim. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. And then
So as you get up there, you can hear that the chanting that was up here has now stopped, and the foul black smoke that was filling the area has also dissipated. Smoke is still in the air, but it's not rising anymore.
Oh, it definitely smells evil up here, and I'm not just talking about the fish.
For it.
Look right. Oh. What was that?
Wait for it. Oh, it smells fish.
Looking around, Borum would see that Rashida is, engaged with this Kuatoa here. Would I also see these other things up here, or are they obscured behind a rise?
Yes, you can just about see them now.
All right. And this sea hag, like, what is that to look at? Is it a Kuatoa that just sort of is more?
So it's this tall, gangly woman with rank, wet hair and seaweed hanging off her, kind of wrapped around her as a shawl. As she turns, just 3 rotten maggot holes in her face, and her glare is petrifying to your soul.
Ah, yes, evil. Told you, definitely evil. Ugh. And he's gonna, although, yeah, no, at this point though, he is probably going to deal with the more imminent threat, and gonna turn and the last orders are called once again for you, sir. This Kuatoa that's fighting Rashida, and that is Toll of the Dead. So that's
D12. I need a wisdom
Yeah.
save, and you need a D12.
Oh, I thought that would do the thing. Did not do the thing. Yeah, so there's the D12, and you need a DC 13 wisdom save.
Perfect. Minus 15. So he does take the brunt of the blow from your spell as it reaches out. The tendrils come up from below, like the bubble that you're spiraling around him to the top, inflicting small amounts of poisonous damage as he moves off. Moving from her altar to the top of the screen, I need all of you to make a Constitution saving throw for me. Sorry, a Wisdom saving throw for me, please.
19.
Anyone who gets below an 11 is frightened of
Me, bad boy.
this vision.
Ooh.
So, can't move closer to her. And I believe it also. have to move away. Yep. So frightened creature has disadvantage on ability checks and attacks rolls while the source of fear is within range. The creature cannot willingly move closer to the source of its fear. So you can only move away from her. And in addition to coming up and scaring the bejesus out of everybody,
That's cursed.
quite literally, upon yourself, she is going to cast a curse. So she reaches up and stares deeply into your soul with a smile on her face that exposes her upper jawbone and reaches, fair child. I'll give you 1 more week. Every drop of water you drink salty as all hell. From Rashinda, I need a wisdom save, please. It reduces your strength by 2. Sorry, I lie. It's disadvantage on strength checks.
So double disadvantage?
Yep.
So I roll 3 times and just pick the lowest one of the 3.
Why do you already have disadvantage on strength checks? You shouldn't.
Cause frightened. Or is it just skill checks?
No, frightened is disadvantage on attacks. This is a disadvantage on
was-
checks.
I thought it was checks too. Okay, well, that's fine.
Bloody checks.
Oh, it is. It's ability checks. Yeah, so double
Oh, so-
disadvantage.
Triple advantage, the disadvantage, hell yeah. It's fine.
That ends her turn. Ishmael, it's your go, but you're not frightened.
Yeah. Being a sailor, would I have encountered or heard stories about sea hags in my travels?
Probably. They do their very best to lure people onto their islands so they can sacrifice them, but they're not as proficient with their illusions, so regardless of their form, they're always hideous and scarred.
Bloody hag.
Mermaid was a sea hag.
No, I'm not. Well, actually, now that you mention it, I'm not seeing any kid, but still, this one ain't no Lucca, she ain't no siren, so I've had about enough of this foul hag, and I'm gonna stab her with the spear. I'm not going to stab her with the spear. Rolled a natural one,
She
but
comes
it's a
up and
3.
she catches it and bats it out of the way. Bats it out of the way as she does. Katoa. Yep, full movement. All the way. Trying to get behind you. It's going to end her turn. Ogrim, it's your go. You can't move towards the...
Yeah, he's scared, but he knows he has to. It's like a he's scared kind of thing. He's gonna use his Hexblade's Curse ability on this sea hag. It's curse for 1 minute.
Ability curse, 30 feet. You are...
And
Right, so you gain a bonus to damage rolls against a cursed target. The bonus equals your proficiency bonus.
Yep.
So in this case, that's +2. Any attack roll you make against the cursed target is a crit hit on a roll of a 19 or 20. If the cursed target dies, you regain hit points equal to your warlock level plus your charisma modifier, maximum of 1. And you can't use this feature again until you take a short or a long rest.
with disadvantage with Eldritch Blast.
fine.
9.
Attack away.
So 9 hits.
9 does not hit, but I need a wisdom save from you now because that ends your turn.
Wisdom save. That's more like it.
17. You're no longer frightened.
Wait.
That ends your turn, Katoa. It's too far away to do anything. Yep, full movement forward up to get to here, and yeah, that he gets as far as he can before he can engage. Rescinda, here we go.
Alright. Well, I'm gonna try and move a little bit away from that thing, which is apparently the worst thing ever. Gonna try keyword to do the same trick as before and head bash him off the cliff, but doubtful. So yeah, I'm not doing shit.
Okay, I need an athletics check at disadvantage. No is the answer.
Yeah,
Is the
no
answer.
is the answer.
It doesn't move. That would end your turn, but I need a wisdom save of you to see you're still frightened.
All right.
"18, you're no longer frightened. Right, Barum,
Actually, it's
that's
not
your
that
go.
bad.
You're starting your turn.
Cool.
You're starting your turn there, so the first thing I need off you is a wisdom save. So you become frightened of the creature.
Oh goodness. Okay.
Nope, 18, you're fine.
Yeah.
So take your turn as you would.
All right. Is this bit of land here? Is that something I can walk up, or is that a cliff?
It's like a 3-foot high gap, so I'll give you that you can get up it without having to spend too much time moving.
Cool. All right, then I'm going to. Well, in fact, first I'm going to. So you see him clench his fists and as they sort of solidify and turn to iron again. That's fists of iron going on.
Yep.
And then he's gonna sort of charge in and sort of run round the back of this sea hag.
So that
And
puts you flanking, so D20 for your attack.
Well, I
D20.
can't attack. The Fists of
fair.
Iron is an action. So I'm
fair.
just in position for now.
Okay, so the sea hag is going to take advantage of where she is standing to strike down Ishmael, who is both flanked and has the height disadvantage against her. These long, sharp, kind of slightly scaly, elongated claws lashing out, reaching across, dealing 15 points of slashing damage in total as she opens his throat from one side to another.
That does it from me in one go. I just and crumbled.
Okay. In that case, then Ishmael, they need a death save.
Eight.
18. Toa. Yeah. Go help friend. Attack in front using his spear. Get disadvantage. 13, and Reshinda takes 2 points of piercing damage because of it, as the spear comes up and around, getting below her defenses. Ogrum, it's your go.
He's going to grimly step towards the sea hag, and if I stand here and attack her, do I get advantage on that? Possibly.
No, has to be opposites.
Can I? I can't stand on Ishmael's dead body, can I?
I mean, you can, but you're standing on your friend's dead body.
I'll stay here. It's a bit disrespectful.
Okay.
Like space, but I'd rather not be stood on.
Yeah, I'll go for green flame blade on this one.
Okay, roll to attack.
20.
Definitely hits. So she takes 2, and fire damage is 3 for everyone around, right?
Just that Kuoto there, but it's so it's 4 for her because of the Hexblade's curse.
Yes, it is. And I also fail my concentration save, so Rescinda, you no longer have disadvantage on your strength checks.
Woo!
Katoa.
That would be sorry, that should be 6. Because I have my Dex modifier as well to the damage.
Okay.
Not
we'll
Dex,
work out
sorry, charisma. There we go. I've done it.
We'll work out the teething problems between. Yeah. He's going to move around and come behind you and attack with his spear, which is sneaking up and trying to get you in the back with the blunt end of the spear being used as a hammer, and it deals 4 points of damage.
I'll take that.
And then Cinda.
First of all, yell out. I'm starting to think this is a bad idea. Should have gone to the next island. And then try and push this bastard off the cliff.
Okay, athletics check for me, please. Go ahead.
No.
Not enough. So I need a wisdom save.
I do.
You're no longer frightened, and you can't.
I wasn't
be
frightened before.
for the next 24 hours. Oh, okay. Sorry, that's my bad. Barum, should we go?
Cool. Barum, seeing the hag cut down Ishmael, he was like, "Ah!" Bellow of frustration and anger. Like he's gonna sort of feint, take a sidestep, and then launch a fucking barrage of like hooks into the back of this bitch's head. Let her have it.
Okay.
So first one, click it, and advantage. So
That hits.
Yeah, that's
Isn't a crit, but it does hit.
and that is for 6 damage, and it is bludgeoning, but it counts as magical in case that's important.
Does count as magical, right?
And then second one, because I'm gonna use my bonus action to swing in. It's an 11.
So that's 11, and then it's just a d6. Doesn't add your mod.
This one. So yeah, that's a 5. Just
No problem. 5. Perfect. So the sea hag now kind of feeling a little bit put out. Yeah, she's going to disengage as her action and move as far as she can, leaving the Katoa and yourselves over there. Ishmael, death save, please.
Yep. Ooh, 9.
Yep, okay. Disengage.
And I'll be right back.
Going as far as you can. And Ogrim.
Can I still see the sea hag?
Yes.
I'm gonna blast her with a final attempt.
Yep.
Eldritch Blast. Come on. Yes.
It
So that's-
catches her strongly in the back of the head. So that's 7 minus 2 more for your hex minus. So it's a 9 altogether, isn't it?
Yep. And then I'm gonna. I can't disengage. I'm just
No,
gonna.
you've used your action.
Yeah, I'm just gonna go for it. Try and follow her 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30.
Okay, so I guess that provokes an attack of opportunity from
Yep.
my Katoa, who's going to reach out with his spear. A 9 doesn't beat your AC. No, you've got 12. So it kind of swings out with it wildly, but it sticks into the rock rather than sticking into anything that you've got. Yeah, it's his go. Yeah, he's going to chase you. 20 gets him to here. And he's going to try throw his net. That's you. Advantage. 14 hits. You are restrained. Your movement is 0. And Rashinda, it's your go.
The good old thwack with the broken oar, because that works great apparently.
18 hits. 4 damage.
Punch for good measure, or yeah, aim for the eye again.
Yep, go ahead.
No.
No, too low, I'm afraid, too low. So as you,
I will get his
first
eyes.
blow comes in, it leaves an opening, and you swing wildly with that fist to come around, but it's just not quite enough to actually be able to get there. And he's pulling out, trying to move away from you. Barum, you're now left alone, stood up, and you can see this faintly glowing aura is disappearing back into the rock as you're stood kind of surrounded by a few of the hag's possessions. What do you want to do?
So first off, I'm going to use my bonus action to cast Healing Word on Ishmael. As he sees the other Kuatoa run off around the side, he sort of follows it, sees where the hag's gone, but turns back and sort of mutters a sort of drink up, son, and Ishmael, you feel a sort of warmth envelop your veins, much as you would if you just drank a whole pint of really good strong beer, and you get some healing. 4 healing.
I kind of lurch up into a sitting position, and I'm just kind of.
Wait, no, I don't. I'm full of crap. I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry. I have already used all my spell slots. I can't do that. I'm really sorry, Ishmael.
Well,
Bleeding out your remain.
Yeah, I open my eyes for a second, spit up some blood and what appears to be non-alcoholic beer, and just pass out again.
Okay, yeah, sorry about that. I can use my action to stabilize him. Well, actually, no. So do I need a medical kit to do that, or can I just make a medicine check to do that?
You can just make a medicine check to do that.
All right.
You don't have to cantrip spare the dying or anything like that.
I don't. I thought about it, but I don't. No, I wish I had. Yeah, no, I'm gonna move up to Ishmael and sort of, try and stem the bleeding from his neck and sort of wrap a bit of my bloody rags around it to sort of, stop the worst of the bleeding.
Give me a medicine check.
That's 15.
Ishmael, that's 1 successful death save.
And
She's going to use all
Can
of her
I-
movement to get down off into the water and disappear below the waves. Ishmael, I need a death save.
Wait, so was I granted one?
1 successful one, yeah.
Okay. And I'm 2 for 2 then. I'm getting a lot of 9s tonight.
Yeah.
It's no in German.
I know, I speak very poor German.
Yeah, the fish are doing everything they can to jump away and get back into the water. And the ones who are here are starting to scatter. Ishmael has made his death save. Ogrim, that's your go.
So the fish are kind of disappearing. I'm gonna run over 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30, just next to Ishmael. And is Bauram still looking at Ishmael, or is he looking around? Is he looking around?
Oh
for
yeah, no.
something?
I mean, he'd still be quite engaged with like trying to prevent him from dying.
Well, he's gonna put his burned hand on Ishmael's chest and use his healing hands, which is his racial trait. It's 1 health, but it's better than no health.
Okay, so that stabilizes Ishmael to 1.
Well, very
hit
bad.
point.
They stay kind of.
And yeah, again, fish are just they're attempting everything they can to leave. But Rashinda, it's your go.
I think you know the answer.
Try to push him off the cliff.
No, thwack.
Whack. Okay.
Get him.
Thwack. That's a thwack.
Yeah, 18 hits.
Why didn't you use a dagger?
She doesn't have a dagger.
No,
Yeah,
and
but
also poke
we
his
have
eyes.
spears. What's a spear? It's a friggin' dagger tied to a stick.
Yeah,
I'm
no,
good with
100%.
I'm good with Dora. I punch his eye. Yay! I did it.
19. Yeah.
Finally.
4. Okay.
Victory.
-4. So he's starting to look much worse for wear at this point. You can take the disengage action and run as far away as you can. So it doesn't provoke any opportunity attacks, but he is at this stage attempting to flee. Baram.
Okay, so seeing that Ishmael is now, the bleeding has stopped and his eyes have opened and he's sort of like looking a bit less dead. And as he's sort of like there and he's sort of like, leans back a little and sees this Kuatara run past you. Says, "Oh no, you bloody don't. Time's up for you, son." And the ringing starts again. And casts Toll of the Dead.
Ding, 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 ding.
Last order.
So yeah, that's
Last orders. I need a D12.
last orders for you, sonny boy.
I kind of stops where he is, and the froth comes over, and if it was a pint, it would be overfilling now, and there's no head left on the ground as just blue blood starts to spread out in him, and he stops, skids, and he's dead.
Looks like you couldn't handle your drinks. Ishmael, are you alright?
I don't care. I don't go home, but I can't stay here.
Well,
Lay down for a minute, Ishmael. There might be something that can help you around here.
yeah, well, I'm just hoping there's something we can bloody eat.
Let's
Well,
have a look.
Pick myself
other than
up and I'm
these.
leaning on the spear, using it kind of as a crutch.
You look alright. I was worried that
So standing
when they cut
just-
your throat, they'd destroy your beautiful voice.
That's such luck.
I'll take it. What are these bottles down here, Chris?
Having a look around the ruin, you can see there seems to be several bottles of spirits, a couple of days worth of rations, each of dried fish, along with some sulfur, some brimstone, and a scroll of planar binding.
Well, it looks like these were definitely up to some no goods. But Those spirits. Let me have a closer look at those.
I'm heading in that direction once I heard spirit because I need some liquid bandage.
So Barham's gonna sort of pick up one of the bottles and, hold it up to the light, sort of inspect it, give it a little shake, listen to the sound of it as it moves within the bottle,
I'm
and then
thinking of it just
carefully
drinking it.
uncork one, and sort of give it a smell to sort of determine, using his decades of brewer's knowledge, see if he can work out what it is.
It smells like seaweed, winkles, grass, cow's urine, and very strong alcohol.
Okay, so Barham's going to turn to Groom and says, well, it's got a very complex nose, reminiscent of long winter evenings by the seaside, but I've got a feeling it may give you the chronic shits and dry mouth like you've never had before in your life, but I think it will get us drunk, so
Are you sure
I
that's not
think
a
we
bottle.
should keep it.
I've already picked up a bottle,
Not
taken the
taking
cork from my
shit,
teeth,
Barham.
ripped it out, and they've taken a huge swig of one of the other bottles.
Oh god.
This chest, is there anything in there, Chris?
Needs a key.
What's the chest made of?
Wood with metal bracings.
Can I force the lock?
Give me a strength check.
No, with Eldritch Blast.
Yes.
That's
Roll
amazing.
attack. Just damage. You'll hit it, so just damage. The lock kind of pings open as you do, and inside of it, wrapped in fish leather cloth, is a 1 foot long, serrated on each side dagger.
Rashida,
It looks
Yeah.
to have a
come and have a look at this.
orcish carved into the hilt.
That's a mighty fine blade you got there. What's it say?
It's well, it seems to be Orcish. Does anyone speak Orcish?
No, I speak Undercommon, but not Orcish.
Speak a little bit of gnomish, but
Is there anything else I can glean from the dagger and where it came from? I'm fishing for a history check here.
No. Beyond, without the ability to read the language that's on the blade, you can't recognize any more of what it is than its Orcish writing. It is a dagger that has serrated edges on both sides.
this appears to be a carving. Can I take a closer look at it?
I'm assuming that was used for some sort of purpose here. I mean, there's a table I assume they were planning to lay someone down on, and then I guess
Well, when we
slash the guts open.
first got up here, there was a strange glowing aura emanating out of the rocks. It seems to have gone away now. It's probably the work of the hag, some summoning ritual or other. Hence this scroll of planar binding. Now you only use that for really nasty demons.
That
So,
makes me
you know,
wary of
Summoning
staying.
something.
Either way, I think we got here in the nick of time. A few moments later, and we'd have been lunch for whatever it was they were calling up from the depths of hell.
Is there anything on the
Kinda
altar
stood
or
where
the?
you are now. No, the altar at the moment is empty. It looks like whatever components were used in the spell that she was casting have been consumed up. Looking out from where you are now, you've got onto the higher ground, sort of maybe 60 odd miles off in the distance. You can see another island with a few towers on it that look like they're more intact than the ones that are on the island that you're currently inhabiting.
Is there anything interesting about this sculpture?
Beyond the fact that it is a human man sat cross-legged with one hand held up, doesn't seem remarkably important religiously, and it does appear to have been here for a very long time, for the moss has grown into the marble itself.
Is it you're recognizable as someone that would have been sung about or written about? Or is it just...
Go ahead, give me that Go ahead and give me that history check.
Just reading. I hardly recognize myself.
Could I go and check this cage over here?
Yes. So, let's go ahead and assume you spend the time needed to have a look around the rest of the island. Everything you get from here includes an extra 50 feet of rope, 20 feet of steel chain, the dagger, a couple of spears that were all being carried by the Katoa, the ropes that were being carried by the Katoa, and enough timber to make 2 oars.
Man, doesn't even go 10.
Sorry,
I'll
say
give you
that
a
again.
list. I'll give you a list. So 50 feet of rope, 20 feet of steel chain, 3 days rations each. I'm assuming you want to write out everything. The 6 spears and 3 nets that were being carried by the Katoa, if you want them, and enough timber to make 2 oars for your boat.
Well, we're definitely gonna need some oars if we don't want to live the rest of our days on this bloody rock. So,
Are we making for the nearest island? I think, we should probably sleep at some point.
we're gonna need to eat as well. I mean, how about this, Rashida? You look reasonably fit. How about you and head down to the beach? You can take Orgrim with you if you need to. Grab some driftwood, bring it back up here. You can help me make a fire, and I'll brew us up some tasty broth for dinner out of this here dried fish.
You know, sounds like a good idea. Come on then, Orgrim.
It's been a while
work.
since I ate something warm.
If you happen to see Evelina down there, you make sure you shake her fist and call her a watery tot for me. Yell up and let me know you did.
I'll do my best, I guess. I was planning to just call her a shipwreck, but I guess that works too.
And if you see any more of those bloody fish people, you know, make sure you yell nice and loud. Don't go too far now.
I'll just get
Conks
out of
that
the
they
way.
were blowing around.
You know, actually, maybe I should bring one of those horns. And I can blow it
Yep.
if trouble arises.
Pick up one of those punks and I'll toss it at Rashida.
Yeah.
Blow this if you need help, if there's any sign of trouble.
Sounds like a good idea.
I'll grab that dagger then, and I'll take a look at it as we're moving down to the beach.
It's not magical.
Break it
It's
up
def-
on the altar because
Sorry, say again,
It's
Chris.
definitely. It's not magical. It's definitely orcish in make. And now that you've had a chance to inspect it a little bit more, it appears to be made out of malachite. Fine with it being orcish.
Right, so we'll grab some. When we get down to the beach, is the mermaid down there?
No, she has left.
So she
Both
was probably the hag, right? Yeah, grab driftwood, bring it back up.
Wrapping them on the altar because it seems like the most smooth surface, and I'm just kind of then take a breathe.
Alright then, Gruumsh, shall we head out?
Okay, that kind of brings your day to a close. You gather the driftwood. There doesn't seem to be any serious movement left on this island. You do encounter a few crabs and some starfish that you can take with you if you want. They're in a small rock pool on your way. There's only letting them into your stew pot. But in terms of resources and everything else in this island, it looks like you do now have the vast majority of everything that you're going to be able to get from here. Is it your intention to bed down and stay here for the night, or do you want to risk an evening at sea?
Well, for my vote, I think we need to bed down. My powerful wounds somewhat dried up, and Ishmael here looks like he could use a rest.
This tower here, is that something you could get into?
Yes, it is.
I'm gonna point to the
Looking
tower and
inside of
go.
it's closed at one end, but you can get into it without too
Yeah.
much trouble.
I'm just gonna point at that and go like, well, we can get into the tower there, the ruin, and protection from the wind and whatever might visit us in the night.
Right, that's a good idea, Rashida. Yeah, this isn't your first marooning, is it?
Perhaps not. Perhaps it is. What's it to you?
We could also pull up the ladders so that if we do get unwelcome company, they have to come from one direction, or it'll make a lot of noise to get to us.
That's another good idea. If you want to take care of that, let me just have a quick look at this tower, make sure it's not going to fall on us. I'm just going to examine it, so just see if I can work out whether or not it's going to collapse easily.
No, it seems like it's put up with the storms for the last while. It's ancient. It's like the stonework is far older than the stonework that is generally used on the mainland, but it looks like it should still stand up to everything that it's been exposed to.
Fair enough. All right. Well then, so I'm assuming the others have come back with the driftwood that they gathered at this point. All right. So I'm gonna take that in here. Well, I'm gonna build the fire just sort of in the mouth of the sort of tower cave thing, and just start building that up. Fire safety first, obviously. A little ring of stones, the whole 9 yards. And and then
Alright,
he's gonna start setting up. Is there any sort of pots or pans or anything littered around? Probably not.
No. It doesn't look like they were using fire.
All right. Well then, I guess I'll just roast this fish then if we can't do a stew. But
Use your helmet.
I don't.
Fire pits.
Do I have a helmet?
I don't know. Do you have a helmet?
Well, I mean, I would have done before, but I'm assuming it was taken off us when we were taken captive.
That's quite true. You probably don't have a helmet.
Make a cooking pit.
Oh no. I'll just we'll just give me that spear. I'll just sort of like, impale the fish on the spear and then just sort of like start roasting them that way.
So
I'll make a cooking utensils check if you like.
yeah, while his cooking is normally fairly good, the meal he's produced at the moment is dried fish that's been roasted. So it's edible. And it's probably better than what you've had for the last couple of days, which has effectively been nothing. But it ain't great.
Point of interest, something that I may want to just do. Around the shore, around the island, is there any coral that is easily accessible?
There's small amount of coral, yes.
Could I get like a fist-sized chunk of coral?
Yeah.
All right. At one point while we're scrounging everything, I did harvest a fist-sized chunk of coral, and I'm gonna break the tip off of one of the spears. And while we're bedding down, I'm just gonna be carving it.
You making yourself a dagger?
I'm making myself a pipe because I'm assuming I lost my pipe when we were shanghaied.
Yes, you did.
Yep. So I'm making the bowl of a pipe, and I'm gonna find some nice wood at some point that's not dry rotted driftwood for the stem.
So we have come to the end of our evening's adventure. You've pushed the hag off of your barren island home, but secured enough food to last you for the next 3 days, some basic equipment, and weapons. You've managed to find the orcish dagger in the chest, and had enough experience to level up.
Ooh.
Keep level up
Hey,
between
we made it.
this session and next. For our viewers at home to be aware, we have 2 rogues, a cleric, and a warlock in our party. We will be streaming on Twitch every Tuesday night from about 1900 GMT to around about now. Sometimes we'll go a little bit later. And we will have a YouTube link in the description if you ever want to catch up on our back catalogue. Thank you very much. I hope you have a good evening, and we will pick up this time next week with all of our slightly less worryingly unequipped heroes.